Lisa Lee, and you're watching Buckingham News. Our top stories. It's Dyslexia Awareness Week, so we investigate how people are affected by this disorder and what support they can get. Buckingham firefighters help the public learn life-saving CPR skills in an event for European Started Heart Day. And the University of Buckingham formally welcomes its new students at the matriculation ceremony mirroring graduation. October is National Dyslexia Month, which raises awareness of the common learning difficulty that affects 1 in 10 of us. Dyslexia can cause problems with reading, writing, and spelling. Sophia Bunker has gone to find out what support the university provides for students who have the condition.
People with dyslexia often have average to superior intelligence. Many are gifted in math, science, fine arts, journalism, and other creative fields. Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, Leonardo da Vinci, and Winston Churchill are a small selection of people who didn't let dyslexia stand in their way.
Dyslexia causes problems in many different ways. In most cases, it affects spelling, learning to speak, learning letters and their sounds, and reading.
Dyslexia is a lifelong problem that can present challenges on a daily basis, but support is available and students at Buckingham should speak to student welfare to get the valuable support they are entitled to during their exams and studies.
In exams, we've got the big issue is time pressure. And most of the difficulties a dyslexic student might face is to do with writing slowly, reading slowly, or processing slowly, or slower than the average student. So we can put concessions in place so that we can extend the time of the exam or allow people to type if handwriting is an issue.
National Dyslexia Awareness Month was first celebrated in 2002. It was started to help encourage those with symptoms to speak out. Many people with dyslexia remain unidentified, and this month aims to encourage people to get the support that they need.
I usually have my work checked by people around me, especially people in my department. I also have support at the welfare centre, and during exams I also get support during my exams. I get a reader and a scribe, and that helps a lot in processing my ideas.
To raise awareness yourself this month, use the hashtag Dyslexia Awareness Month to post on social media and to let people know what dyslexia is all about. This is Sophia Bunker for Buckingham News.
The University of Buckingham held its first ever matriculation ceremony earlier this week. New students were formally inducted into their respective schools by the deans and the vice-chancellor. Kashi was there.
New University of Buckingham students were welcomed into the student body at an official matriculation ceremony on Monday evening. The formal event, which took place in the town St. Peter and St. Paul's Church, saw students introduced to the Vice-Chancellor and Deputy Vice-Chancellor by the Dean of their school. Matriculation is a formal admission of students into university, and despite being a regular rite of passage in many universities, this is the first time Buckingham has organized an event for its freshers.
So this is a chance for everybody to come up on stage to formally matriculate, as it is called, and this is a mirror image of graduation that happens at the end after the finals are finished and the exam classifications are given. So it's a chance to everyone to see who the senior staff are, hear a bit more about the university, to come up on stage, to hear from the student leaders, and just to have a sense of belonging to our great university.
The deans of the 4 schools in attendance, Law, Business, Humanities, and Science and Computing, and the Students' Union Executive Committee encouraged the new students to explore and enjoy university life.
The University of Buckingham is a unique university, and the students have made the best choice, I would say, of their life, having to come to the university at this point in time, because they are coming at a time when we have a Vice-Chancellor who is very much keen about academic life, and a students' union that's very much keen about social life. So it's all about finding the balance.
With all the new students now officially matriculated into the University of Buckingham, they can look forward to completing their degrees and returning here in 2 years for their graduation. This is Keshu, Buckingham News.
Tuesday, the 18th of October was Restart a Heart Day, a global scheme aimed at educating people about the importance of cardiopulmonary resuscitation. This year, local fire and ambulance service teams came together to help with the initiative. Paul Rutland has been to find out more.
On Saturday, crews from Buckingham Fire Station and the South Central Ambulance Service came together to train members of the public in cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, at Tesco, Buckingham. If someone suffers a cardiac arrest, their chances of survival double if it happens in front of a bystander who immediately starts CPR before the ambulance arrives. With over 30,000 people suffering cardiac arrests outside of hospital in the UK every year, this training is crucial.
CPR is most important. If people would just do something rather than just stand and watch, even if they're not prepared to put the breaths into somebody, just by doing the compressions, it's actually helping to keep that person alive until we can till the ambulance can get there and get them to the hospital.
Also in attendance at this Restart a Heart Day event were the Buckingham AED project, who raised money towards the purchase of life-saving automatic electric defibrillators around the town.
Buckingham AED project is a community-led scheme to provide Buckingham with a number of defibrillators that are accessible by the public in case of emergency. In addition to that, it now is also supporting the first responder scheme.
We people have absolutely been phenomenal. The support we've got from the very young to the very old has been fantastic. We've raised an awful lot of money and it continues.
Today, if you suffer a cardiac arrest outside of hospital in the UK, you have less than a 1 in 10 chance of surviving. In places such as Norway, where CPR is more widely taught, these figures rise to as high as 4 in 10.
With hundreds of people trained in CPR at this event alone today, people everywhere are going to see the benefit of this scheme as more and more lives are saved in the years to come. This is Paul Rutland, Buckingham News.
The government has recently decided to increase the number of medical school places by 25% from 2018. This decision is expected to make England self-sufficient in training doctors. Cameron Hawtrey reports.
Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt has announced plans to increase the number of training places for student doctors from 6,000 to 7,500 a year, following the dispute between the government and junior doctors regarding the NHS crisis. Ministers believe that the increase in the number of homegrown doctors will be essential given the ageing population and will make England self-sufficient in training doctors.
I think it's tremendous. Britain really needs more doctors and it's going to get worse. The main driver for this is the ageing population with chronic illnesses that need a lot more medical attention. So launching 1,500 new places over a base of 6,000 is really a significant gain. It's 20% gain.
The rise in training places will cost £100 million from 2018 to 2020. But in the long term, the government hopes to recoup money by charging foreign students more than it does now. Medical students will be expected to work for the NHS for at least 4 years or face penalties that could include them having to repay the cost of their training.
The announcement has been welcomed by many, with an increasing number of medical students surely only adding to Buckingham's successful medical school. This is Cameron Hawtrey for Buckingham News.
Home Secretary Amber Rudd has announced major new restrictions and plans for students, limiting the number of overseas students and introducing a crackdown on working visas. The government is expecting to reduce the flow of overseas students from outside Europe by proposing a new immigration system. Henry Thompson has more on the story.
In her recent speech at the Conservative Party conference in Birmingham, Home Secretary Amber Rudd stated that foreign workers should not be able to take jobs British people can do.
Although it seems that the new Home Secretary has everything in her proposal planned, the idea of reducing international students into the UK's universities has drawn widespread criticism from professional academics.
Miss Rudd, MP, said that the Home Office would consult the new rules and regulations that will require companies to pass a labour market test before recruiting employees from overseas.
Obviously, I don't believe that students should be included in the net migration figures anyway. International students bring a lot to the British economy, they enrich our culture, they're very much welcomed in the UK.
Whilst the proposals have not yet been accepted, the Institute of Directors firmly believes that immigration can be controlled without hurting businesses or universities. This is Henry Thompson, Buckingham News.
In other news, the Student Union at the University of Buckingham has welcomed Stephanie Okiki as its new treasurer following the election held last week. The position was popular, with Okiki beating up 2 others in the running. In a statement, she said, "By working together with teamwork, we can really help the SU grow and be the best we can be. So far, we've got really good team members, and that's going to help us in helping the students." In other SU news, the role as vice president recently reopened as newly elected VP Binesh Chaudhary has stepped down. The re-elections will be held on the 26th of October, and the office is currently accepting nominations. His Royal Highness the Duke of York, the Queen's second son, Prince Andrew, will be visiting the University of Buckingham on Monday, 24th of October. His Royal Highness will be meeting staff and students to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Business Enterprise (BSc) and attending presentation by BBE students. Students and staff are welcome to gather on Hunter Street to see his arrival at 10:30 a.m. If you suffer from unpleasant and odorous flatulence, carbohydrates might be at fault. We sent Karen Iokwe to find out why and to see if anything can be done.
I was taught from a young age that everyone is different, and the same is true for our farts. While most of the gas we let off every day is scent-free carbon dioxide, there's a single % of other gases that make it smell. The reason behind smelly flatulence lies in the gastrointestinal tract, where bacteria breaks down what we eat. The foul smell is due to carbohydrates in our food not being properly broken down.
In fact, if you come to hospital and there's a problem, one of the questions you'll get asked is, so someone who hasn't maybe opened their bowels for a while, one of the questions you'll get asked is, have you passed any wind? Because that's a sign that you wanted to make sure things are passing normally. So yeah, it's a very, very healthy and normal thing to do.
You might think that eating healthy will help your farts become more pleasant, but foods rich in fibre, such as broccoli, sprouts and cabbage, actually help you pass gas. And red meat and dairy makes your gas more odorous. We asked people how they feel about farts.
I think if people are farting around you, you should feel comfortable farting around them.
If there's someone you can blame it on, there's a high percentage you'll get away with it, then all the time.
With friends and you can really clear out a room with a fart, it's going to make you laugh if nobody else.
If you would like to fart less and produce less noxious gas, eating more proteins instead of carbohydrates and including probiotics found in yogurt in your diet will help. This is Karen Iokwe reporting for Buckingham News.
It's National Baking Week, and the university has held a bake-off contest to see which team of students can bake the best Victoria sponge cake. Emma Greaves has gone to join the madness.
On the boys' team, we've got Matt and Jack, and on the girls' team, we've got Bhairavi and Maria. Both teams will be given exactly the same ingredients. Let's see who can bake the best Victoria sponge. Ready, set, bake!
It's not one moving.
Yeah, can you
give us a script?
Excuse me,
So don't you have it? This is our
This
final
is the
product.
winning cake. And the winners of the bake-off are the girls' team. Why not celebrate National Baking Week yourself by trying to bake a cake? This has been Emma Greaves for Buckingham News.
Now over to sports with Philip Jaws.
Thank you, Lisa.
The University of Buckingham's men's basketball team, the Buckingham Barons, competed in their first ever league game last night. Tamilore Tayo Oyetibo went to catch all the action on this landmark night.
In what was a highly anticipated match for the players, coaches and supporters, the Buckingham Barons embarked on a historic night as they competed in their first official league match, representing the university against the Milton Keynes Knights. Buckingham started off the game at a fast pace, with its key players making huge plays on both sides of the ball. The Knights also made efforts to assert themselves, and due to their stellar interior defense, they were able to finish the first half leading by a point, with the scoreline being 23-24. Buckingham showed no signs of letting up, as they began to lead by a point over the course of the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, the MK Knights made a valiant attempt to make a surprise comeback, but it was too little too late as Buckingham held on to win their home opener by a score of 59-56.
Honestly, I felt like even though we got the victory, we underachieved. I mean, there were a lot of plays that we had where we were unstable on offense and we didn't think through. I felt like if we were more patient, we would have stretched them a lot more.
Chris was a great leader. He had lots of passes, lots of shots, and I think our team really gelled, and especially in the end, we didn't panic. We were up by a little bit, but we didn't panic. We didn't give away any silly shots, and I'm very proud of how the team played today.
With such a strong performance in its first home fixture, the Barons look to continue their success in their next match when they travel to Kettering to play against the Phoenix Suns. This is Tamilore Tayo for Buckingham News.
After a disastrous away league defeat last weekend, the University of Buckingham's football club looked to bounce back with a home cup game against Steeple Clayton. Matt Powell has more.
The match kicked off with the away team getting an early goal, but Buckingham equalised shortly after. 2 more goals from the away side, however, saw Buckingham go into the break with a 3-1 deficit. The second half was far more one-sided, with the hosts conceding a series of goals in quick succession. Despite multiple chances for Buckingham to redeem themselves, they couldn't convert their chances, with the match finishing at 7 goals to 1.
It wasn't 12-0, thank God for that. But yeah, it's better. The team's playing much better. We train harder, work better, work for each other on the pitch, and yeah, improvements will come.
A disappointing result for Buckingham, seeing them knocked out of this cup at an early stage. It is still early in the season for Buckingham though, and the team are looking forward to turning their season around with some positive results in the coming weeks. This is Matt Powell reporting for Buckingham News.
That's it for the sports roundup. Now back to Elisa in the studio.
Every October, artists from all over the world put down their pencils and pick up a pen to take part in the Inktober challenge. Their task is to draw a picture with an ink pen every day, linked to a specific word or phrase. Neil Featheringham got out his easel and found the best artists that Buckingham had to offer.
Inktober was created in 2009 by concept artist Jake Parker, who started the online challenge to improve his inking skills and develop positive drawing habits. It has since become a worldwide phenomenon with thousands of people taking part every year.
So, the challenge is simple. Just pick up a pen, a piece of paper and choose a word from the prompt list on the Inktober website and start drawing.
We asked some students of the university to draw what they thought these words represented. Each picture represents each day of the month. Once you've finished your drawing, just post it online with the hashtag Inktober2016 and repeat every day. This is Neil Fotheringham for Buckingham News.
The recent discovery of a 7,000-year-old domesticated dog's tooth near Stonehenge proves that dogs have been man's best friend for millennia. The discovery was made by a senior research fellow in archaeology at the University of Buckingham. Owen Hughes has the story.
Over 800,000 people visit Stonehenge every year, but one prehistoric man and his canine companion have been causing a bit of a stir. A tooth from the year 5000 BC, belonging to a distant relative of the Alsatian breed of dog, was recently unearthed by archaeologist David Jakes and his team at Blickmead near Stonehenge. The finding is the first to show that prehistoric man and domesticated dogs travelled together over such long distances.
The really great thing is that the analysis shows for the first time a minimum 150-mile journey. It could be 250 miles and out of range really for what we would have normally expected for hunter-gatherers. And it's also not just coming here for a walk it's coming here to do a job of work by the looks of it, and it's to be involved in major prestige hunts.
Some of the research carried out by archaeologist David Jakes will be used in the University of Buckingham's massive open online course, or MOOC.
Before the University of Buckingham ran the Blickney project, we had very little idea that there were anybody here before the Stonehenge landscape was built, around about 3700 BC. Now it looks like that, in fact, it's almost completely the opposite, that there's been this place that's been special for a really long time.
We now know that pilgrimages to the mysterious Stonehenge took place 2,000 years before the monument was erected, and that the human-canine bond has always been hard to break. This is Owen Hughes for Buckingham News.
Fried, boiled, scrambled or poached, the humble egg has been a delicacy enjoyed by families for centuries. Friday the 14th of October was World Egg Day, first celebrated in 1996 to raise awareness of the benefits of eggs. Join me in my kitchen as I make a Spanish omelette to celebrate the special day. Eggs contain many key ingredients for the human body. As one of the highest natural sources for protein, they can help development of our brain and muscle. If you are looking for a healthy breakfast and minimum wash-up, and here it is, the Spanish omelette. To follow this recipe, you need 3 small potatoes, 4 eggs, 1 onion, salt and pepper, and a drizzle of olive oil. Start by peeling the potatoes before cutting them and the onion into thin slices. Add salt to the potatoes and fry them until soft and tender. Fry together with the onion. Beat the eggs, adding a pinch of salt and pepper. Lightly coat the pan with olive oil and add all the ingredients in it. Flip the omelette once to cook the other side. And there it is, a simple and easy recipe for a tasty Spanish omelette. You can even give it your own touch by adding green pepper or even shrimps. This is Elisa Lee reporting for Buckingham News. Thank you for watching Buckingham News. We will see you next week.